What is up, guys? Chick Cactus here on Valentine's Day. Apparently, the grind never stops, so you guys better be appreciative of this video. The rest of the day is for me, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today...
We are going over a super fun and incredibly powerful build that just became possible thanks to a brand new exotic introduced into Destiny 2 with Season of the Chosen. And so, let's get started. Now, that brand new exotic to which this entire build revolves around is the new Warlock Exotic Chest piece, the Mantle of Battle Harmony. Now, what this says is takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element grant you super energy. While your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary damage bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass element. Now, this build revolves around the first part of that exotic perk where you're able to gain bonus super energy. So if you're using a void subclass and then a void weapon, that void weapon gets more super energy per kill than it would without this exotic. Now here's where things get really interesting. It stacks with the perk Thresh. Thresh makes it so that when you get a kill, you get bonus super energy. So not only are you getting the effect of Thresh, but you're also getting the effect of Mantle of Battle Harmony to essentially double up and get a huge amount of super energy for a single kill. So, what does that look like in-game when all aspects of this build come together? Well, as you can see right here, I'm in the Thrallway part of the Shattered Throne dungeon. It's just a scenario where a ton of ads are charging at you if you're doing a strike or a mission where they're throwing thralls at you or something like that. As you can see, I'm capable of getting a 26-second super. And I could have pushed this even further. I was shooting down the stairway. If I was collecting my Masterwork orbs, I don't even want to think about how fast the super would have been then. But yeah, this is the upper echelon of what this build is possible. But what are the aspects of this build? So, the subclass we're using is Top Tree Voidwalker, and that's simply because this is arguably the best one and done super for the Warlock, because you're able to put forth a ton of damage, an absolutely devastating area of effect with just a single super activation, and that's what you want. This build is completely revolving around getting your super as fast as possible, so that actually does mean you want to use your super, get it out of the way, get it done, have it kill a bunch of enemies, and then start generating energy towards the next one. If you're just holding on to a super, yes, you will actually be gaining the damage bonus from the second part of the exotic, but all of that bonus super energy is essentially wasted if you just have a charged super. And again, that's the choice behind Cataclysm. So, next, if you're using a Void subclass, we need some Void weapons that work with this build. The first one is actually the Royal Chase Scout Rifle. My role here has full auto and imperatively Thresh. Now the good news is that the Royal Chase is actually very easy to farm because it is a Wraithborn hunt weapon. So you can just, whenever you see the Scout Rifle on offer, in your lure mods, just do those until you get one with Thresh. Now another weapon we're using is, importantly, the Crowd Pleaser. This is another void weapon that can spawn with Thresh. And I was also lucky enough to get it with Clown Cartridge to increase the magazine size on a reload, and Spike Grenades to increase direct impact damage, both actually good perks. But very importantly, both of these weapons exist here because they are void weapons with Thresh. That's really what you're looking for, and honestly, there's probably a better option out there than the Royal Chase, or if there isn't, there will be in the future. That's the exciting thing about this build. It can only get better. If Bungie introduces a fantastic auto rifle or SMG that's void and can get Thresh, it slots perfectly into this build, because that's the main thing you're looking for when it comes to weapons. But moving on from there, let's talk about the armor mods I am using. So first off, I'm using Energy Converter. So while charged with light, using your grenade attack grants you super energy, consuming all stacks of charge with light. The more stacks you have, the more energy you gain, up to a maximum of 50% of your super energy. And it does give you -10 discipline for slotting this in. So this is the only charge with light payoff mod we're using. And obviously it works perfectly with this build. We're trying to get our super back as quickly as possible, and there's kind of a way you need to use this. But mainly you need to pair another mod with Energy Converter, and that's actually Supercharged. So you can have 2 additional stacks of charge with light up to a maximum of 5. This mod is super important. Originally, I was using Energy Converter with the 2 normal stacks of charge with light you get, and it gave me like no super energy back. But with the 4 possible stacks of charge with light you get for using Supercharged, as you can see from that 26-second clip, what you do is you have charge with light times 4, and then you throw your grenade right after using your super and get a big chunk of super energy back instantly. This combo basically means you're starting at 25-30% of your super charged just after using it, and obviously that is hugely beneficial. But of course, for this to work, we need to become charged with light. So firstly, you can use precision charge. So become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with precision kills from bows, hand cannons, and scout rifles. This is definitely alright, but I haven't found it that amazing. I think it's pretty replaceable. The main one is actually going to be taking charge. Become charged with light by picking up orbs of power. It is super easy to get 4 orbs of power before you use your super. You're obviously going out of your way to get orbs of power because you're trying to get your super as fast as possible. And if you masterwork your weapons, really easy to make orbs of power. So all of these things combine to create a Warlock build where you are just yeeting that super all the time. I was actually playing with someone who had like 90 intellect and the geomegs on, and they were saying, dude, you're getting your super before me every single time. That's how efficient you are at generating your super with this build. And you're using your super just so often. Like, I'm playing Battlegrounds with this, I'm playing even Nightfalls with this, and the ability to cast your super anytime there's a large group of adds that you almost always have it up is just extremely beneficial. Not to mention, there's the teamwork aspect in the fact that if you're using something really powerful like, oh, I don't know, the Eyes of Tomorrow rocket launcher, yes, that's great at clearing out groups of adds just like a super. But if you do it with a super, you're producing a ton of orbs of power for your teammates who are therefore using their supers more often, which benefits you. Like, you really start feeding off of your teammates with this build. So this is definitely something I would recommend putting together if you do get the exotic chest piece. That's the main focal point of this build. But honestly, the most exciting part is that you can take the skeleton of this build. So the exotic chest piece, I think the charge with light mods are pretty essential as well, and then combine them with different weapons and different subclasses. If you have some great solar weapons with thresh, I know the Europa auto rifle can get thresh, and you want to use a solar subclass, you can do that. The problem there is I don't think there's a very good solar heavy with thresh, or at least I don't have one. Same with arc builds as well. The main thing is getting those elemental weapons with thresh. Once you get 2 that are solid, you can mold the rest of the build around them to just get whatever super you want way faster than normal. And that adaptability of this build is another factor that makes it just so darn good. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.